If you own 5 pens, I'm sorry, you are not a minimalist. If you use packing cubes, you're actually a maximalist who's lying to themselves. If you've ever owned 2 knives at the same time, that's not minimalism. That's hoarding, apparently. And if you own something that brings you joy but doesn't serve a clear utilitarian purpose, straight to jail. Minimalist jail, which is just an empty room with 3 items and a guy in the corner explaining why you're doing it wrong. I really can't stand gatekeeping. And I think it's because gatekeeping is always dressed up as help, but it's actually more about control, especially when it comes to something like minimalism. When I talk about minimalism on this channel, in my life, it's not to preach. It's not to somehow convert you. It's not to tell you how to live. It's the opposite. It's to free you. And the second some idiot turns minimalism into some kind of rule book, they've completely lost the plot. According to my comment section, you own more than 30 items? Not a minimalist. You didn't shove your raw clothes into a backpack like some kind of medieval peasant? Not a minimalist. You own more than 1 pair of pants? Not a minimalist. You own sentimental items? Emotional weakness detected. Apparently the goal is to live inside a beige rectangle with no personality, no joy, and no forks. God forbid you own 5 knives and 6 forks. What are you, a restaurant? Here's the thing. I didn't start exploring minimalism because it was trendy. I started because I was drowning in stuff. I used to collect things. Like, really collect things. Toys from when I was a kid, shelves and shelves of them. Stuff I couldn't emotionally let go of because it represented who I used to be. And none of it was bad, but it was heavy, useless, and took up a bunch of space. Once I finally let go of that clutter, something really clicked in me. I felt lighter, calmer, more present. And for the first time, I actually appreciated the things that I did keep. That's why I always come back to KGDS. Keep, gift, donate, sell. It's not some rigid rule set. It's not a numbers game. It's not you can only own 4 items or you're a failure. It's my clarity framework. It helps me ask, do I use this? Do I care about this? Does this make my life better? I give myself about a year with each item. If I use it regularly, miss it when it's gone, can't imagine my daily comfort without it, I keep it. If I don't ever think any of those things, then it goes. Good riddance. Not dramatically, not angrily, not because minimalism told me to. Just honestly, with genuine thought. If someone I know can use it, I gift it to them. If someone in need can use it, then I donate it. If it still has some monetary value and I can recoup some losses, then I sell it. No guilt, no shame spiral, no minimalism confession booth. I genuinely don't understand people who live by a strict minimalism code. I own exactly 30 items. Cool, good for you. That sounds like a spreadsheet-based personality where you don't have any thoughts of your own, you just take a checklist and apply it to your personality. I think of minimalism more like a writing prompt. It gives you a framework, and then you decide how it applies to your life. For me, it means quality over quantity, practical over performative, and yes, sometimes it even means keeping things that don't serve a particular function, just because I like them, I like looking at them, they bring me joy, they bring something metaphysical to my life. Art, plants, objects that bring warmth, because I'm a human being, not an efficiency algorithm. Minimalism to me means intentionality. It means I'm not buying things impulsively. I appreciate quality. I appreciate design. I appreciate how something actually solves a problem in my life. I went from acquiring things just to acquire them and they would sit in a box or on a shelf somewhere, to only purchasing things I'll actively use or actively care about. And that shift, it changed everything. Travel is where this philosophy really saved me. Travel used to make me really anxious, waiting for bags, fights over the overhead bin, dragging big hefty luggage around a new city when I'm just trying to have a good time. Now, personal item only. After every trip, I strip my bag down. What did I actually use? What didn't I touch or think about once? Next trip, the unused stuff stays behind. Exact clothing, exact dop kit, exact tech, nothing extra, just what I need. And that freedom is real. I land. I hop in an Uber. If the hotel room isn't ready yet, I don't care. I go explore. I go to a coffee shop. I go to a museum. I go to the beach. I go to a park. I do whatever the hell I want because I'm not bound to carrying around some huge piece of luggage. There's nothing more freeing than landing and being able to just explore a new city on foot, find some cool places, talk to people, do whatever the heck you want, and not have anyone or anything or any stuff to answer to. I'm not lugging around a roller bag. I'm not guarding my stuff like a dragon. Shout out Smaug. Everything I need is on my back. That feeling, that freedom, that breath of fresh air, calmness, and presence, that's exactly why I do this. And then I come home to an office, a kitchen, a living room, filled only with things I actually use. No shelves of crap, no why do I own this, no silent guilt objects. If you can put something into a closet for a year and never think about it and never need it, you don't need it. That's not judgment. That's not preaching. That's just freedom. And somehow, EDC gatekeeping is even worse. I've been told I have computer hands. I'm a cosplay guy. I'm not a mechanic, so I shouldn't carry tools. Which is wild to me. EDC isn't a job requirement. It's not some sort of masculinity test, which is absolutely ridiculous in general. It's not a cosplay. It's a concept. What do you carry every day? That's it. Nothing I do here or present here is about telling you how to live. I'm not here to hand you a shopping list, tell you to copy my setup, or sell you on some kind of fake personality. I'm just me. I'm just here to share what worked for me, offer perspective, give you options, tell you about products that I've tried out and used, how they worked for me, how they could potentially work for you, and encourage the same self-reflection that I place on myself, which is, what do I need? What do I use? What do I like? What fits my style, my personality, my lifestyle, and everything that I need to keep me comfortable and productive. Take what resonates and leave what doesn't. And yes, let's talk reviews. Some of the products that I review are furnished by companies. None are paid sponsorships. Brands do not get to see any of these videos beforehand. They have zero influence on my opinions. And when something is paid, like for example, I did a sponsorship with Rocks on Tools, but I left those reviews and videos only on my Instagram page. I didn't include them in any of my YouTube reviews because I felt like it was a conflict of interest. I had a 3-month deal with them. That's over now. But at the time, I did really like the tools, but I didn't think that it was right for me to put them in my YouTube videos and give them as like an honest review because they were paying me. So when something is paid or a paid sponsorship, and I've only done one so far, I don't review them here. No gray areas, no pretending, no weird influencer math. The idea of authenticity to me is extremely simple. I'm giving you my real thoughts, my real experiences, my real life, not as instructions, but as an example, as a perspective. If something sparks curiosity in you, that's a win for me. If it helps you rethink something, even better. And if it's not for you, that's okay too. Not everything for me, not everything's for you. So take only from my videos what resonates with you and what helps you, and leave all the rest behind. Now go enjoy your 5 pens. You're still allowed to be here.